Every organization has a unique culture, shaped by its values, habits, and ways of thinking. But in a constantly changing business environment, the question is, can organizational culture really be changed? Hello everyone, I'm Salsabila. In this chapter, we're gonna discuss about cultural change in organizations. Stay tuned! Here are the table of content of this material. First, cultural change as a cultural process. This section will discuss the process and mechanism of change and organizational culture change. The second section is about organization change in global environment. We'll discuss the organization versus national culture, existence of international corporate culture, and mapping corporate culture change. Third section is about the case study, and the fourth section or the last section is conclusion. Organizational culture is not just about written rules or formal structures, but about daily behaviors, values that are upheld, and how employees collaborate. This culture creates a company's identity and guides its behavior both internally and externally. However, when the world changes rapidly, with new technologies, expanding markets, and increasing competition, organizations must adapt. This includes cultural change that are often difficult and challenging. How do organizations navigate this change? Do they need to change their culture entirely or just the surface? According to H.R. Sain, there are several mechanisms that can be used to change an organizational culture. These include the design and structure of the organization, the systems and procedures used, and the organizational rituals that can be refreshed. However, these changes are only effective if they are consistent with the core values of the organization. In other words, surface level change won't last if they are not supported by deeper change in mindset and behavior. Dill and Kennedy at 2000 argued that organization's culture is deeply rooted, especially if it is a midlife or maturity stage. If external factors strongly influence the culture, there is little conviction that an organization can be changed unless the external environment changes. However, if culture is dependent on internal factors, there is a belief that culture can be directed and changed. Lauren, at 1989, argues that both a weak and strong culture are doomed to extinction. Sain, at 2004, suggests that members of the organization should examine their culture together and assess some assumption, with the leader playing a key role in managing the process. So, can organizational culture really be changed? The answer is yes, but it's not easy. Cultural change is a deep, time consuming process. It requires strong leadership, clear strategy, and ongoing effort from the entire organization. However, with the right commitment, organizations can successfully navigate this change and build a culture that is more suited to challenges of the times. Organizational change in global environment. Organization versus national culture. The tension between organizational culture and national culture is a significant issue for Western managers. Research by Lauren in the 1980s found that cultural difference among managers working for multinational companies were greater than those in their own countries. However, international exposure did not diminish nationally bounded collective perception of organizations. National companies of multinationals may prefer different ways of implementing organizational change, depending on how the national organization interprets its own present situation. Existence of international corporate culture. Cultural change becomes even more complex when organizations operate globally. Research shows that national culture often exerts more influence than corporate culture. This means that multinational organizations often need to tailor their cultural change strategies based on the local context. Transnational business people are developing a global business culture, fostering competitive values and innovation. Successful multinationals do not subordinate national culture, but view them as learning source and increasing synergy. Companies are developing commonalities in production process, quality control, workers' rights, and environmental issues. However, the tension between organizational and national cultures is a key issue, with cultural differences significantly greater among managers working for multinational companies. Mapping corporate culture change. The competing values or CV framework categorize organizational effectiveness perspectives and types of organizations. It consists of two opposite dimensions, which is flexibility and distraction, stability and control, internal orientation, and external orientation. The framework produces four quadrants representing values and helps diagnose an organizational culture and respond to challenge. The organizational culture assessment instrument is a questionnaire that examines present and future profiles, discrepancies and congruence between individual responses. Comparing an organization's performance against an average industry profile can help identify cultural change needed. Case study: Cultural change at Samsung Electronics. Samsung Electronics implemented the Value Innovation Program or VIP to transform its R&D culture, focusing on creativity and out-of-the-box thinking. The program, based in Seoul, South Korea, incorporated unconventional design elements and creative spaces, encouraging employees to think creatively without hierarchy. The program aimed to balance traditional Korean culture's values with the global technology market's demands. Samsung's transformational approach demonstrates the potential of organizational culture change, demonstrating the importance of clear strategy and strong leadership. We're coming in the end of this material. The conclusion of this material is organizational culture can be transformed through strategic leadership and deep transformation of values, behaviors, and mindsets. This process can be gradual or revolutionary depending on internal readiness and external pressures. Successful cultural change is crucial for long term organizational adaptability and success. Thank you so much for your attention. See you in the next video.